And, BYOD is another one that we were chatting about earlier. Maybe you can talk about BYOD.
Yeah, so obviously everyone has their own personal preference of devices, whether it's Windows endpoints, Mac OS, iPhone, Android, iPads. I mean, there's folks out there that, which is always crazy to me, they can grab an iPad Pro and they grab a keyboard and they can do all the things that they do on a daily basis using an iPad. I like to have my keyboard and mouse, but individuals like to do that. With these enterprise browsers, you can deploy this enterprise browser across any device. And the nice part, kind of talking about what you were talking about earlier, is having that flexibility of bringing your own device. What works well for you as a user, what your workflow is, because once that is downloaded from an app store, for example, if you're using Android or iOS, you can just log in with your corporate credentials and it provisions that endpoint as far as the browser is concerned. So going back to that example with your LastPass, I'm Bitwarden myself, but at the end of the day, when you log into that enterprise browser, now that workflow becomes, hey, I understand that there are shared passwords, and so from a corporate standpoint, maybe you do use LastPass, or maybe you do use OnePass or your Bitwardens, and it will single sign on to that plugin, and more importantly, download that plugin for you automatically. So maybe when you're on a corporate website, you have access to your LastPass with your shared passwords, whereas you go to a personal website, let's say Facebook, the plugin may still be there, but now you're logged in with your personal credentials and you can log in and get your credentials from there. And so having that workload and understanding how the user is going to integrate with each one of those individual tabs or those individual workloads is key. But more importantly, if they go and break their iPad, they can grab their mother's Android tablet or maybe their kid's Mac OS laptop and says, "Hey, I need to grab this. I need to get back to work." They can go download the enterprise browser, sign back in, maybe use an MFA from their phone to make sure that they are who they say they are, and then they launch their workload, their application, and they continue doing what they need to do.
Yeah. Productivity, that's what really matters. I mean, there's other features like the multiple clipboard functionality, right? So that you can have a much longer list of your clipboard and copy and paste functionality, all the way to automation of certain scripts and tasks that some of these tools from enterprise browser, they're starting to see, hey, you're doing these repetitive tasks over and over again. Maybe there's a way to automate and script some of these things, and they're kind of seeing how you're using your web apps and kind of getting into certain areas. So definitely about user productivity is being pretty critical.